I'm looking for something I do not understand.
I fight for the users.
Where is Tron? This is the biggest question Tron Ares left unanswered. Given that the movie is titled after the franchise's main hero, his prominence has declined with each new film. What would you think if I told you that Tron was in the new movie? I'm a Gloomy Geek, and in this video we're going to talk about the evolution of Tron and the misunderstanding of the titular character. By 1980, Encom was already one of the largest companies in the world. One of its employees, programmer Alan Bradley, realized that the Grid, a massive company program, didn't have a good defense system. Bradley understood that he needed to create a defense program, an antivirus that could protect users from internal and external threats. It was from this need that Tron was born, the Guardian program that defended the interests of the users on the Grid.
What's the project you're working on?
Well, it's called Tron. It's a security program itself, actually. It monitors all contacts between our system and other systems. Finds anything going on that's not scheduled, it shuts it down.
Tron was the best warrior on the Grid, a natural strategist, tactician, and leader. But he was not a neutral program. He always fought on behalf of the users, and did so until Kevin Flynn's actions began to corrupt him. Tron's friend's deception led the Guardian of the Grid to become the very thing he was created to fight against.
Hey, who's that guy?
That's Tron. He fights for the users.
Kevin Flynn was betrayed by his creation, Clue. This betrayal didn't happen overnight. It was Flynn's frequent absence that led to this outcome. Flynn spread himself too thin between the development of the Grid and his responsibilities at Encom and his family. His overconfidence disappointed both his families, in the real world and within the Grid. In the comic, Tron Betrayal, Tron tries to rationalize Flynn's actions after Kevin lied to him and Clue right to their faces. Tron's tragic downfall began with a gradual change in beliefs. When Clue betrayed Flynn, he attacked Tron, who after nearly losing his life, attempted to find a successor, but he eventually fell into Clue's hands and was turned into Rinsler. The Tron everyone knew had disappeared. His colors changed from blue to orange, from hope and freedom to control and authoritarianism. Then Sam Flynn's arrival on the Grid and Kevin coming out of hiding to fight Clue reignited something that had been extinguished in Tron, his drive to fight for the users. And in a final act of heroism, he helped the Flynns escape Clue. Tron showed that he still had the strength to resist the programming imposed on him by Clue. But by sacrificing himself, he made it clear that his loyalty to the users was stronger than any corruption. That final gesture was proof that even though they tried to subdue him, Tron never ceased to be a protector.
I fight for the users.
So what happened to Tron? Tron fell into the sea of simulation. As he sank, we saw his colors change, as if he were being cleansed. Will the hero be reborn from the sea of simulation, or is the sea his grave? To understand what happened to Tron, one must first understand what the sea of simulation is. The sea of simulation is more than a digital environment. It is the definitive frontier between the artificial and the unknown, the edge before oblivion. In appearance, it is a vast expanse of liquid light and pure code, an endless ocean that surrounds and delimits the Grid. It is said that the essence of the system, the oldest code, flows within the waters, almost as if it were the origin and end of all digital life. Despite its importance, the sea is shrouded in mystery, a territory that neither users nor programs have fully understood. Throughout the history of the Grid, it is known that programs can traverse above the sea and even swim in its shallow edges. However, there has always been the belief that any program that falls into the deep sea would de-res, dissolving into the ocean of data, never to return. This is the risk of exploring the unknown, but the sea is also where the impossible happens. From the sea of simulation emerged the ISOs, spontaneous programs that were not created by any user. They emerged naturally, a life born from the unknown. The ISOs were a miracle for some, but a threat to others, as their existence defies everything known about digital creation. Over time, the sea was polluted, poisoned by the fear and control Clue sought to impose. intent on eliminating any further anomaly that might challenge his regime. The Sea of Simulation is similar to the Earth's ocean, which operates within the limits of the digital and the unknown. When Tron falls into the sea, what was supposed to happen doesn't happen, because Tron isn't just any program. Any other program upon falling into the waters would have derezzed, but Tron didn't. He was cleansed. Now how can Ares be Tron? Just as there are programs designed to reason and organize the system, there are others whose purpose is to protect it. Tron was created for protection and surveillance, to prevent the system from being corrupted. He is an antivirus, but also exists from an idea, the belief in the users, the notion that something exists beyond programming and centralized control. This is perhaps the most important aspect of Tron's character. Unlike other franchises where a character's name is tied to an actor, the idea of Tron doesn't depend on a specific identity. Tron is a title, a symbol, a guardian of the simulation that represents the will of its users, meaning that any program, no matter how insignificant, can become Tron as long as they believe in the users. Tron isn't just a program, it's an idea. In Tron Uprising, the animated series, we're introduced to Beck, Tron's first successor, and while we'll talk about him and the series in other videos, the show made it clear that Tron has always been an idea, not a singular character. Tron is the hope of escape when everything seems predetermined. Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
The function of the One is now to return to the source, allowing a temporary dissemination of the code you carry, reinserting the Prime program.
It's the hope that something else exists beyond the beyond. It's the faith in the improbable. While others fight for power, ambition, or control, Tron fights for others. Because at its core, Tron is the best of the human soul manifested within software.
Clue betrayed me, left me with scars that will never heal. He took everything from me, everything but my name. I need you to help me carry on that name. Show everyone that as long as Tron lives, there is still hope.
Ares became that idea the moment he received the Permanence code. The film is titled Tron because Ares fulfills the roles of that archetype. Ares became the savior of humans, a program willing to sacrifice himself to find permanence in the world that only wanted to use him as a weapon of war. He exemplifies all the qualities of Tron in the real world. While it is understandable that people expected to see a movie with Tron himself in it, it has been long established that Tron has evolved beyond Alan Bradley's original software protection program. Hopefully, over time, people will come to understand that Tron was in the movie, and his name is Ares. So what do you think? Is Ares Tron? If not, then where is Tron? I'm a Gloomy Geek, and don't forget to like and subscribe.